Every major event happening today that isn't being covered by mainstream media. What we got getting covered by mainstream media? I'm not gonna lie, it's not really looking good. It's pretty, I don't know, bro. We got the Diddy case. We got the motherfucking that bill that Congress passed. It's like a bunch of negative so let's have more negativity. You know, I feel like we need to learn a lot more negative events going on. Nah, dead. Bro, Africa be having like insane events, like world events that's just not talked about. I mean, the media there is definitely covering it. I feel like just in Western countries, they don't really care like that to talk about it. Let's see this though.
Sudan Civil War. Sudan is currently facing the world's worst humanitarian crisis, with over 18 million people suffering from extreme hunger, and 500,000 children starving to death. This is happening because Sudan has been in a brutal civil war since April 15, 2023. The fighting is mainly between two powerful military groups that used to run the country together. On one side, there's the Sudanese Armed Forces, led by the head of the official army, and on the other side, there is a paramilitary group called the Rapid Support Forces. This war started.
So do African countries not be stepping in to like help each other and stuff? Like, bro, come on, man. Like, what we doing, bro? Like, you know what's crazy? What's gonna happen? In some way, either America or some Western country is gonna step in. They're probably gonna like solve it or have some type of ceasefire, and then America's gonna take like a chunk of like their motherfucking like minerals or like gas or some shit. Yeah, I'm telling you, bro, that's how it happens every time, bro. Like, every time, dude, America comes in and they're like, all right, we'll help you fix this conflict with each other or whatever. They come in, bro, and just take something from the country. And they're like, all right, this is your price. And yeah, they do have to take something, to be honest. If the motherfucking African countries around it actually helped and was like united and shit, then like, bro, that wouldn't happen. They get cooked.
Because of a power struggle. After a coup in 2021, both groups were supposed to merge into one national army, but neither side trusted the other. Tensions exploded when the RSF attacked key sites in the capital Khartoum, trying to take control. What followed was full-on war.
Yo, that's a scary thing, bro. Like, dude, being in a government that unstable, I would be scared to live in a country where like the government got overthrown. I feel like for the government to get overthrown here, it would have to be some crazy shit. Like, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, Trump would have to enact some law, like damn near martial law, bro. If martial law ever got enacted in America, just know it's over. I hope y'all know, bro, it's over. And also, in our Constitution, we have the Second Amendment. Dude, you don't think people are gonna stand for their land? You think people are gonna like the military come in their house and shit and like try to, I don't know, just like detain them, not say anything, not be able to say anything? Closest thing we had was the January 6th riots. Yeah, I mean, in modern times, yeah. But even then, bro, like, that was just a couple of motherfuckers just mad as shit over some bullshit. And like the US military could have stepped in easily and then just take it down. Like, that's what happened.
Not just in Khartoum, but across Sudan, especially in Darfur, where the RSF has been accused of committing ethnic massacres. This new war has pulled in international powers too. Egypt is backing the SAF, while the UAE and Chad are believed to be supporting the RSF. As of 2025, the war is still going with no end in sight. There were some peace talks, like the Jeddah Declaration, but they failed. More than 8.8 million people have been forced to flee their homes, and over 3.5 million have left the country.
And this is just over like a couple of like powerful people, dude. If the people literally came in and told them, like, both groups, like, no, we're not having this, then they would own it, but that's not gonna happen. Hey guys, Tom NFG here. You know, only half of you guys are subscribed and even less of you guys have noties on. I hate to be a burden, but you know, I really appreciate it if you hit that sub button and the little bell next to it. You know, it doesn't take long. I know you can get mixed up in the algorithm and everything. But yeah, also tune into the streams. You know, we have a lot of fun over there. I'm telling you, we have a lot of parties going on over there. Yeah, that's it. Bye. Damn.
Entirely. Hospitals are closed, food and medicine are running out, and aid groups can't safely get in because convoys are being looted. Meanwhile, both sides are spreading lies online using fake videos and AI to sway public opinion.
We're almost caught using AI on their news media. They were. It's just like the sad thing too about countries like that, where like social media may be limited to the citizens there and they watch it through TV. They just believe everything from the TV.
Seen AI generated videos and photos. Like this one supposedly showing a reporter in front of a prison in Iran. Or this one purportedly showing buildings in Tel Aviv.
And see, the thing is, if you're like a citizen, let's say in Iran that doesn't have like free social media, I know like they do, it's like somewhat restricted, and they watch a lot of stuff through the TV, they're gonna think this is real.
This one claiming to show a downed Israeli F-35 warplane. CBS News confirmed has tracked dozens of these fakes, some with millions of views.
Like, y'all, the future is so cooked, bro.
Opinion. The Rwanda Congo War. In 1994, the Rwandan genocide took place when Hutu extremists killed an estimated 500,000 Tutsis in just 100 days.
That is so disgusting, bro. The fact that any humans can even do that to other humans is so sick.
Afterward, many of those responsible fled into Congo, where they regrouped into armed factions like the FDLR, a group that still operates in the region to this day. The Tutsi-led Rwandan government, which took power after the genocide, pursued them into Congolese territory. These events started the tensions fueling the current conflict conflict. In 2022, Rwanda was accused of directly backing the M23 rebel group, which is made up mostly of Congolese Tutsis. This was confirmed by UN and US reports, which state that Rwandan troops have crossed into Congo and fought alongside M23, despite official denials. The Rwandan government, however, claims its military—
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, y'all think the US government is corrupt? Nigga, African countries, the leaders, bro, they literally do not care. They won't hide it, I'm not gonna lie. Like, they will make it so obvious. Like, you could have 4K footage and you'd be like, no, this is not real. This is fake footage.
is in Congolese territory.
South American countries can be corrupt too. Oh yeah, no, I know.
To defend against the FDLR, the same group of Hutu mentioned earlier. M23, on the other hand, claims to protect Tutsis in Congo, but has been accused of massacres, child soldier recruitment, and attacks on aid operations. Since the renewed fighting began, the situation has spiraled into a near-constant war. Entire cities have fallen to rebels. Over 400,000 people were displaced in early 2025 alone.
But like, why did they even like genocide them at first? I think it's just tribalism, bro. It's something about like in Africa and tribalism. Shit is so weird. Like, you already had one problem with people owning you, bro, because they think your skin color is just bad, and they're like, all right, we're gonna own you as a slave or something and not give you human rights. If those countries just got together, bro, if all the African countries just got together, bro, and worked together, Africa would literally be the strongest country. I hope y'all know that. Kind of sad, bro. Even in Ethiopia, bro, they be having like beefs with certain tribes and shit. Like, there was some conflict that happened in Ethiopia, and there was dead ass, like, I'm not gonna say who, but like a friend's family that wouldn't even talk to all of the other friends' family. And I don't even think they talk anymore. Like, they still don't talk, bro, because of that. It's like saying America's uniting will be the strongest is true, but it's not happening. Oh, I mean, America, it's the United States of America. Like, America is still pretty united, even though, yes, I know politically this and that. Overall, in America, if something happens, a terror attack happens on here, you're gonna have like almost all states agree, like they're gonna fight back. It's like anytime another country tries to attack America, all the states are gonna come together, all the people in Congress, and they're gonna vote to fight that country. They're not gonna be like, nah. Like, in Africa, that's impossible because it's not united. So like, a conflict could happen, and the other countries are like, damn, we're taking this person's side, or we're not getting involved in this, or we don't care, or whatever.
And thousands have been killed or injured. International peace efforts have failed. Slowing down of the AOCH.
What's that?
The Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation, a key ocean current system that helps regulate the global climate, is weakening fast, and scientists warn it's heading toward a potential collapse. This process keeps Europe relatively mild and stable, but it's now being disrupted by global warming. If the AOCH were to collapse entirely, the effects would be massive. Europe could face temperature drops of 5 to 15 degrees Celsius within decades. Sea levels along the Atlantic coast could rise by up to 70 centimeters, and rainfall patterns in places like the Amazon—
Wait, so it's gonna get colder, but am I stupid? It's gonna get colder, but the sea levels are gonna rise? Am I tripping? That don't make sense to me. Like, normally with global warming, we know, like, yeah, planet gets hotter, ozone layer and everything gets fucked up, and then the water rises because of that, because like all the glaciers in Antarctica and shit. But what I'm thinking what's happening is it's getting colder, right, due to whatever the it's called AOCH. Because of that, the icebergs are going to build up in Antarctica a lot. Then, because it's going to get hot later on, they're going to melt and it's going to like rise rapidly.
70 centimeters, and rainfall patterns in places like the Amazon could reverse, turning wet seasons into dry ones. Other areas, especially in the southern hemisphere, would get even hotter. This wouldn't be a slow change. It could happen rapidly once we hit a climate tipping point, with shifts occurring over just a few decades. The last time something like this happened was about 12,900 years ago, triggering a sudden 1,300-year cold snap. Scientists don't agree on exactly when this might happen, but most studies point to a date that isn't too far in the future.
Really? I feel like this is something like that would be like after our lifetime. What the
future? Haiti's situation. Haiti is in total crisis. The country has been spiraling since 2018, when protests broke out over a hike in fuel prices, but things got much worse after President Jovenel Moïse was assassinated in 2021. Since then, political power has collapsed.
I didn't even know that happened.
And armed gangs have taken over most of the capital, Port-au-Prince. The interim prime minister, Ariel Henry, tried to bring in foreign police from Kenya to help fight gang violence. But while he was out of the country negotiating, gangs blocked his return and launched coordinated attacks. Jails were stormed, thousands of inmates escaped, and key infrastructure like ports, airports, hospitals, and even the presidential palace came under attack.
Yo, I look like they're copying the White House here. Yo, this deadass looks like a copy of the White House.
The gangs continue to fight among themselves, and nearly half the population is going hungry. Over 1.6 million are on the—
Sounds like they need some good old freedom! Hey, listen, bro, America, it's time for— Nah. America low-key got too much shit to worry about. Yeah, I think America would come in. Dude, if America comes in, I'm not gonna lie, Haiti is getting like 80% of the resources taken. They're gonna be like, all right, we're coming in with their military, we're here to help you, but you gotta give us 99% of your resources.
the edge of famine, and more than 160,000 people have fled their homes in the capital alone. The situation is
Haiti does not have resources? Yeah, that probably explains why the U.S. didn't step in.
Still really bad, with regular massacres. Just from January to March 2025, 1,600 people were killed and 800 were injured. Unfortunately, the whole situation isn't being properly covered in mainstream media, and many people don't even—
Yeah, I haven't heard of this. I think I've heard like Haiti's like dangerous to visit. It's Haiti, and then isn't there a country next to Haiti? There's like two countries that are right next to each other that are like very dangerous to visit. Oh, Haiti and Cuba are next to each other.
Know about it. Europe's 80% bug decline. For nearly 30 years, a small group of German insect scientists quietly tracked insect populations in nature reserves, unaware they were documenting one of the most alarming environmental disasters in modern Europe. Led by Dr. Martin Sorg, the Krefeld Entomological Society found that the amount of flying insects had declined by 75% between 1989 and 2016. The implications are really bad. Insects pollinate 80% of wild plants and feed 60% of bird species. They decompose organic matter, recycle nutrients, and support entire food chains. Without them, ecosystems would crumble. Scientists link the decline to intense farming practices, especially the widespread use of pesticides like neonicotinoids. Many farmers, however, worry about the economic costs of reducing chemicals without enough support or consumer demand. It would be hard to compete against other countries.
And this is when the government's supposed to step in and help, but you know, they're not doing that. They won't know it's bad until it's over, until it's the point of no return. Farming is something that takes a long time to grow, especially like a lot of the biggest farming places like in America and stuff. The farms have been running for like damn near like since America got established and shit.
Countries who keep using these pesticides, keeping costs down. Myanmar Civil War. In 2021, the Myanmar military, known as the Tatmadaw, seized power in a coup, overthrowing the elected government and arresting civilian leaders. The coup, of course, sparked massive protests, which were met with violent crackdowns, leading many civilians to take up arms. In response, the exiled elected government formed the National Unity Government, representing anti-coup forces and calling for the re-establishment of a democratic state. They allied with long-standing ethnic armed groups that have fought the military for decades, and together they opposed the military junta, now operating under the name State Administration Council. Fighting has since spread across the country, turning into a full-scale civil war. Ethnic militias and newly formed People's Defense Forces, composed of regular civilians who want to fight back, have launched coordinated attacks, taking control of significant territory. But the military has responded with airstrikes, massacres, and scorched earth tactics. In April 2023, a single airstrike on a gathering in Saging region reportedly killed over 160 civilians. They famously used the Four Cuts Doctrine, which consists of cutting off food, funds, intelligence, and recruits to starve opposition areas.
Crazy thing is, in countries like this, it's like nothing you could do. What the f do you do?
Leading to mass displacement. As of now, the conflict has displaced millions of people and shows no signs of ending. China and Russia continue to support the junta diplomatically and militarily. The whole situation was worsened by the huge earthquake in March 2025, which directly killed up to 5,300 people and injured up to 11,400 people. Balkans situation. Since late 2024, a wave of protests has started across parts of the Balkans and nearby countries.
What is Balkan? Is that like all these countries together?
In what many are calling the Balkan Spring. It started in Serbia and Slovakia, then spread to North Macedonia, Turkey, Greece, Montenegro, and even beyond, including Hungary, Georgia, and Romania. The protests have been mostly
Georgia? That's not Atlanta. Am I tripping? Georgia. I'm kidding. I know what it is. It's Georgia, the country.
Student-led, as people got fed up with corruption and authoritarianism. In Serbia, the movement exploded after a newly renovated train station in Novi Sad collapsed, killing 16 people, an incident blamed on corruption. Students holding a silent tribute were attacked by government-affiliated thugs.
What the fuck?
Which only fueled the outrage. Slogans like corrupt—
Yo, I'm telling you, bro, no matter how politically is right now, dude, I'm so glad to live here. What do you mean the government set thugs for people to like protest? Are you kidding me? Nigga, they just set people with like ski masks, bro, to go out and start snatching up people and shit.
Corruption kills and a bloody hand became protest symbols. In Slovakia, protests erupted after Prime Minister Robert Fico visited Moscow, cut military aid to Ukraine, and pushed controversial judicial reforms, leading many to chant, "Slovakia is Europe." In Turkey, people hit the streets after opposition leader and Istanbul mayor Ekrem İmamoğlu was arrested in what many saw as a political takedown. In North Macedonia, 59 people died in a nightclub fire caused by poor safety standards, sparking mass protests similar to those in Serbia. Meanwhile, in Greece, the memory of the deadly 2023 Tempe train crash, where 57 people died, was reignited during its second anniversary, so memorial rallies were held. Protesters across borders are clearly inspired by each other, even sharing slogans and
Oh, they got a little Pikachu Pikachu.
Symbols like Pikachu, which started in Turkey and spread to Serbia. Some governments have started to crack under the pressure. Serbia's prime minister resigned, and discussions of snap elections have begun in Slovakia. Myambo Woodlands fire. Every single day, the equivalent of around 140 full-sized football fields of Myambo Woodland burns down across southern Africa.
What?
Wiping out animal habitats, killing wildlife, and pushing entire
Hello? What are y'all doing, bro?
Ecosystems to the brink. These woodlands.
Damn, y'all. I'm definitely gonna visit like the rural parts and shit of Africa and whatnot. Damn, that sucks, bro. They're burning it down. I wouldn't even be surprised, bro. The government's just like doesn't care.
Aren't just any forest. They form the largest continuous stretch of woodland in Africa, spanning countries like Tanzania, Congo, and Zambia, and they're home to most of the continent's wildlife, including critically endangered species. Despite this, the Myambo receives almost no global attention or mainstream media coverage, and it gets little to no consistent government funding. As these ecosystems are cleared for agriculture or burned for charcoal.
I think for most of the countries that are in Africa, like the ones that, I don't know, are farther away, they're just like, bro, what is it in for me? What's in it for me to help?
The animals that depend on them are left homeless or dead, and significant amounts of greenhouse gases get released. Also, these dry forests support over 65 million people who rely on them for timber, fuelwood, food, honey, and medicine. Despite their importance, Myambo woodlands are often ignored, overshadowed by more iconic tropical rainforests like the Amazon and Congo. If nothing changes, Africa could lose a massive portion of its biodiversity silently. Oppression of Uyghurs in China. In China's Xinjiang region, the Uyghurs, a Muslim ethnic minority, are facing a campaign of repression by the Chinese government. This includes mass surveillance, forced detention, and religious restrictions. Over 1 million Uyghurs have been sent to detention centers for reasons as simple as praying.
China's not like religious at all, right? Like they want the opposite. They don't want religion at all, right? That's crazy, bro. See, the problem is with doing that. I mean, this is like a small group, but like it's not like a big group. But bro, the problem is if you're gonna have a large group of people that like believe in religion some way, and then slowly starts to take over the country and shit, and the government starts to try to like do that, bro, eventually the people are going to overthrow it. Like that's what happens with a lot of countries, bro. We're like pretty sure that happen with kind of similar to Iran, not really, but that's just what's gonna happen. You know, right now it's a small group, but if it's a big group, a lot more people start believing in whatever religious denomination they're gonna be in for a run.
Growing a beard or having contact with people abroad. Inside these camps, people report being tortured, forced to renounce their religion, and subjected to political propaganda. It's so bad that many disappear without their families ever being told where they are. Outside the camp.
And shout out to these people because they're literally dying for their beliefs, bro. Like they could just lie to the government and just be like, oh yeah, no, I'm not that. I don't really care.
Surveillance is also constant. Uyghur homes are monitored not just by cameras, but by Han Chinese citizens placed there by the government under a program called Unite as One Family. Uyghurs are also being forced to work in factories, often with no pay, either inside the camps or in faraway cities, separated from their families. Women are being targeted too.
Does anybody know why like China doesn't believe in like religious freedom? Like why is that a thing? Is that just a part of like their government and how it runs, or is it just the leaders that just don't believe it, or they don't want people to do it? Modern day Auschwitz, by the way. There's a lot of modern day Auschwitz going on, to be honest, because it causes instability for the government. In what ways does it cause instability for them? The only thing I can think of is, okay, yeah, let's say there's like a big religious group and then the government does a policy they don't agree with, then the religious groups protest. If it's just a peaceful protest or something, nothing's gonna happen. I'm pretty sure that happens in America all the time where like, I don't know, whatever religious group protests something going on and nothing happens. Now if there's an attack, which could always happen, then yeah. I'm not gonna act like I know everything about it, but like to me that doesn't really make sense, like not allowing religion in your government or freedom of religion, because like you're thinking, oh well, we all gotta think the same, and like if you do that, I don't know, you might not like the government policy. Independent thought will crumble China's corrupt government. They have to censor it because if people start to realize they can revolt, hence is that why this image is banned there? Why'd I see a video of like somebody going in Chinese discords and shit and like sending this? Dude, that's so f***ed up. I actually saw that, bro, and I was like, damn. Like, the CCP officials the next day probably just snatched them up. Do y'all think China, like, a revolution is gonna happen soon, or like the people are gonna get pissed? Their military and connections and shit with other countries is so powerful, it's gonna be like very hard for the citizens to stand up. But like, it is like damn near like more than 1 billion of them, bro, compared to like, let's say like 100,000 people that work for the government. We never know. Hey, back then, bro, they probably never thought like those protests and shit, the 1989 protests were not gonna happen. They're like, oh, it's impossible to happen. It's gonna be probably the younger generation, I'm assuming, stepping up. That's usually what happens. CCP are dictators. Intense at games like Marvel Rivals, words related to the event are censored. And niggas dare to say like, bro, America's worse than China? What the f, nigga? That is crazy work. Sure, you can criticize aspects of American shit. That is insane. Like, you cannot deny, bro, the censorship. Deadass. A lot of those people saying that, if they went to China, bro, they wouldn't be able to have those beliefs. What are you gonna complain about the Chinese government? Nigga, good luck. Yo, good luck, bro. Your ass gonna be sent to a Camp, dog. I was sitting here, so many people from the outside looking into the situation are so wrong. It's hilarious. I won't understand that. Like, sure, you may be able to say there's good aspects of Chinese government. I don't know what, but like, I'll never understand fully. Oh no, just China like better than America. Nigga, what? I'm good, bro. Hey, you can go there, bro. I'm good. I'm okay.
With widespread reports of forced sterilizations and birth control procedures as part of a campaign to limit the Uyghur population. The goal appears to be to remove them by forcing them to assimilate to the Han majority culture, which is why some call it cultural genocide.
Right.
International watchdogs and human rights groups believe that what's happening may amount to crimes against humanity, but with strict—
That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna come out in 50 years. They're gonna brush it under the rug and they're gonna move on. That's just what's gonna happen. Actually, they're not. It's China. They're not even gonna admit it. I feel like that's an American government thing where like America would admit it. They'd be like, all right, yeah, we did that up thing, but let's just move on. Kind of sorry about it, but is what it is. One way you contribute against issues to not buy Temu or Chinese related products is they are made by slaves. The thing is, if you're in America, it's damn near impossible to not buy Chinese products. Like even shit you don't know, like even small parts that you wouldn't know are created in China. Like straight up, like just you could buy something that's made in America. The small part is made in China. This part's made. It doesn't really matter. I don't think you could like fully stop it. But yeah, that is a step towards it. Not buying like from Temu and shit. I think the only time I bought from Temu was like the Temu haul I did on stream. I mean, buying from our terrible corrupt billionaire censor guy, Jeff Bezos.
control over information coming out of the region, much of this remains hidden from the world. If you liked this video, subscribe for similar—
Okay, that was a good video. Asmongold said that dice behind you are Temu dice. How the fuck did you know that? You watched his reaction? Actually, wait, I got this off TikTok Shop. Is that Temu? It's probably made in China. Anyways, yeah, if you're watching on the tube, make sure to join the Discord and watch streams.
Subscribe to Tommy NFG.